Hi, my name is Chris Gilmore. I'm a Service Cloud SE here at Salesforce. And today I'd like to walk through a demonstration of Service Cloud, Salesforce's seamless service offering to provide digital support on the world's #1 service platform. So there's this common misconception that Salesforce is really just a Salesforce automation system and they only deal with sales enablement, when actually Salesforce is a lot more than that. Salesforce, pretty much every product that Salesforce sells is built on what we call the customer success platform. And this platform allows you to put your customers at the center of your business, no matter what business unit is engaging with them. So whether it's salespeople talking to customers, or your service organization supporting your customers, or even your marketing business unit that's marketing content to your customers, it's all on the same platform, and it provides capabilities for each of those business units for their respective processes, but can leverage the same capabilities, content, and data from the shared platform. In addition to the data being able to be shared, there's common things like artificial intelligence, which is Salesforce's AI layer of the platform, and those services can be leveraged across all of those business units. So you don't need to hire some data scientists or integrate with a third-party system to just help your sales team have AI. This is AI throughout your entire organization that any of these business units can leverage from the same platform. The other thing about Salesforce is we deliver 3 releases a year. It's a multi-tenant environment, so you can take advantage of the new innovation that comes 3 times a year without having to do anything. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit more about service though. So if we were to kind of double click into this service offering, or Service Cloud as we call it, these are some of the capabilities that go into play here. Now service, as we all know, can be a variety of different types of interactions with our customers. We've arranged them here on this infographic from what we call high touch conversations to no touch conversations. So something high touch would be something like field service, where there's a lot of different people getting involved in the service delivery, from the field or from the back office or the customer, but all the way down to no touch conversations where maybe no one from the service organization is getting involved, in more of a self-service bot type of interaction that a customer might have. But regardless of how the customer engages, whether it's something more self-service or something heavily a heavy operation with lots of different resources, we provide capabilities across the from everything in between. So you'll see a lot of different channels here, like live message, which is our SMS channel. We have e-commerce. There's social customer service, of course, where you provide service over social channels. So there's capabilities across the board within Service Cloud, and a lot of customers, of course, don't turn all of these things on all at once. But the great thing is that Service Cloud can grow with your organization. So as your organization provides more service channels and more capabilities and more different types of interactions that your customers can have with you, the easier it is to just turn on these capabilities and not have to build integrations or buy other service products to provide those channels of service. All right, but enough about Service Cloud. Let's get into a demonstration. Today we're going to talk about our customer, Lauren, and she's a longtime Cirrus Energy customer. Cirrus Energy is our fictitious organization that we're using today. And she's got a problem. She has a damaged wind turbine that she needs to get replaced. So she's trying to figure out what's the process here. She's also international, so how do I ship this thing internationally, and is it covered under warranty, and all the things that go into this process of returning your turbine. And she wants help on a variety of different channels. She doesn't necessarily want to just call in and stay on hold for a half an hour. And then we'll transition over to Tim's service. He's our agent, our service agent, and we'll see how he can quickly and intelligently respond to this case or these issues that Lauren has. We'll see how he has a unified 360-degree view of the customer with all previous case history orders assets, opportunities, basically just all of the information that he needs available to him in one place that he can use to provide a contextual and relevant and prompt response for Lauren. We'll also see how he can collaborate potentially with managers to keep them in the loop. And speaking of managers, we'll last part of, of the demo. We'll look at our manager, Stevens or Mike Manager, and we'll see how he can quickly stay informed on all of the operations going on in the customer engagement center. Not only just see, but also take action. He can quickly take action to adjust priorities and goals and make meaningful changes that can further enable his team. So without further ado, I will jump into the demonstration. All right, so remember, our customer Lauren Bailey has an issue with her turbine, and she wants to reach out to Cirrus Energy to figure out how she can go ahead and return this turbine, and is it covered under warranty, and figure out the process here. So what does Lauren do? Well, she could do a lot of different things. Perhaps she wants to send an email to the support team from her Gmail account to get some more info about her return. So that could be one channel where service is provided, where she can simply just contact the customer service team over at Cirrus Energy, and she could type a message like, need help returning an item. So she can just go ahead and send that email to the customer service team, and she even quickly gets a response thanking her for contacting them and informing her that someone will be assigned to the case and get back to them shortly. Now, another option that Lauren has that a lot of us might be more used to is when we have an issue, we go over to Google and we run a search. Something like Cirrus International Shipping. And when we run that Google search, it directs her to the Cirrus self-service community. Now, the Cirrus self-service community is a place where people like Lauren can go to get the help that they need, find interesting articles with the answers to the questions that they have. They can interact with other community members. They could post a question, get an answer crowdsourced, or they can even contact the support center right from the community. So as we see, Lauren ran a search for international shipping, and she was quickly brought to an article discussing her very question. It has some embedded content like a video that she can watch that describes the process. It has a lot of the information that she was looking for. So right then and there, Lauren was able to achieve what we call zero-touch resolution. So what that means is she didn't even have to contact the customer center. No agents had to be assigned to this case if she just had a question around international shipping and was able to find the answer to the question she has from the community. So zero-touch resolution is kind of the gold standard in service centers because it requires no effort on the part of the agents. Now, let's say that now that this article kind of gives her some information that she needs around international shipping, now she wants to understand the return process. And as you can see on the right-hand side of this screen, there's this related articles panel that describes articles that are related to this one that oftentimes community members look at together. So if someone's looking at the Shipping International article, chances are they might want to be talking about returns. So you could see here that this "How do I return an item" article is also posted here. And it's easy for Lauren to quickly go into this article as well. And again, these related articles are powered by Einstein. There's artificial intelligence behind, how it recommends these articles on a variety of different parameters involving, how popular they are, how relevant the content is, a lot of different things there. So now let's say that Lauren has the information she needs around returning an item, but she wants to understand, is this return going to cost her anything? And she can continue to search the community for, answers to the questions she has, or she can contact the the service center directly. So let's go ahead and show how you would do that. So she could contact support right from the community, and it's as simple as filling out a quick form saying, okay, this is our residential product here, and she wants to say warranty info. And notice as I'm typing, the suggested articles are filtered and presented to Lauren in one last effort to deflect her case so that we can achieve that zero touch resolution. But let's go ahead and continue on here so we can see how she can contact support through this web channel. Um, is my turbine under warranty? Okay. She can add an attachment if she'd like, but let's go ahead and just submit this. Now at this point, her case has been submitted. She's redirected to a page where she could come back to at any time this case from the community and see the status of it and where it stands. She could even share any updates that she has using Chatter right from the community as well. So now that Lauren has submitted actually two cases on two different channels, let's go and take a look at the agent experience and see how our agent Tim Service can effectively engage with Lauren to resolve her issues. So our agent Tim Service starts his day in Lightning Service Console. And Lightning Service Console was built from the ground up with agent productivity in mind. From here, he can view common objects like cases, or look at his contacts or accounts, or even review knowledge articles. And when he looks at an object like cases, he can see different what's called list views for kind of filtering, pre-filtering the list of cases. So right now he's looking at recently viewed, but he can look at all the cases, and then he can sort these lists however he'd like. Perhaps he wanted to look only at billing cases. He can certainly do that. And one of the other ways that cases or any object can be viewed, of course, a list view is available, but also something called a Kanban view is also available. So what this does is organize the cases into different groups. In this scenario, we have the cases organized by status. So now we can see each of these columns represents a different status for the cases in various statuses. And in order to transition between these statuses, it's as simple as just dragging the case over. So we can drag this case from escalated to warning, and it updates the case status. But Tim wants to get to work, so he's going to go ahead and log into Omnichannel. And when he logs into Omnichannel, he can make himself available for any number of these different channels. So we could see he can make himself available for cases, he can make himself available for chat, for SMS conversations, for SOS video chat, or just make himself available for all of them. So once he does that, we'll start to see all of those cases come in. And interesting thing about omnichannel is that what this component does is actually push cases to the agents instead of the agents having to go and cherry pick from a queue. What this helps do is ensure that the right case is assigned to the right agent at the right time. So gone are the days where a case gets auto-assigned to a queue and then you just have to wait for someone to go take it. Omnichannel is aware of which agents are currently online, which queues they're logged into, and their skills even that they have. So it ensures that the relevant case gets pushed to them. And not only that, if the agent doesn't want to accept the case, you can provide a capability for them to decline, provide a reason perhaps, they're about to go on break, say, and they can go ahead and submit that, and then that case will get routed to someone else. This is an optional configuration for allowing your agents to decline taking a case that gets pushed to them. But we could go ahead and also see that these cases are all from different channels. So notice this top case here is from Twitter. This middle one is that email that we sent earlier. And then this warranty info is that community case that was opened. So why don't we go ahead and accept that community case. And all Tim needs to do is click the check mark. It will automatically pop the case to his screen. And now he has what we call that 360-degree view of the customer. Because not only are we looking at information related to the case itself, but we're also seeing information related to the contact and perhaps recent cases that have been opened by that contact. So other things that might help us get a little bit more context as an agent in what we perhaps helped them on in the past. And we could even embed dashboards and analytics that show, this account in general and perhaps what amount of pending deals we have that might help us understand, okay, we've got a good amount of business that we're about to do with someone from this account that might inform us something. We could also look at cases that have been opened in the past and see by the different reasons, by the different priorities, and even look at who helped them in the past and how many cases each of these different agents have helped. And these are not just view only; these are interactive. So we can click on any number of these filters, and if we want to just look at medium priority cases, the rest of the dashboard then gets filtered to only show the data relevant to them. In the middle here, we have what's called the Chatter Publisher. And what this allows us to do is various common actions that are configurable, whether it's sending an email back to the customer or posting an update to the internal team about this case, or even custom actions that might be relevant to your business, like if we need to create a work order or if we need to create a claim or something like that. These are completely configurable in a declarative interface to build quick actions. Below this, we have the Chatter feed. And the Chatter feed shows us an update of all of the things that have occurred related to the case. So think of it as like the wall, the Facebook wall of this case, all of the updates that have happened in sequential order. We see that we haven't responded to this case in a timely manner. It's actually been 52 minutes since this case was opened. So we have milestones and entitlements that help us understand, are we violating SLAs? When should we be responding? And workflow can be embedded into these milestones and entitlements so that we can ensure that if, for example, this first response is missed like this, perhaps some escalation process would kick in where people might get notified or emails are sent out, or even that the case gets reassigned to someone else. Okay, we have a component here called Community 360, and this helps Tim understand, what is Lauren looking at inside of the community before she opened this case. We see that she did look at this shipping article that we did in fact look at as Lauren. So this might provide Tim some contextual information. He's not just going to forward that shipping information to her again because he's already seen she's actually viewed it 10 times. So we can assume that she's looked at that article while we resolve this case. And speaking of articles, we have our knowledge base, the Salesforce knowledge widget below, or component below, that quickly surfaces relevant knowledge articles. And we see that because this case is dealing with warranties and repairs, of course, this article is the most relevant for us to look at. All right, and this whole console, this whole interface right here is completely configurable. So different agents can see different components, different cases that are open for different reasons or on different channels can have different layouts. And all of this is built in what's called Lightning App Builder. So Lightning App Builder is basically a drag and drop interface for each of these components to be positioned on the screen that's appropriate for your agents. So now that Tim has reviewed this case, he wants to know if this turbine's under warranty. He's got a knowledge article right here that outlines specifically, how do I know if my unit's under warranty? We got the answer right here. If you purchased in the last year or so, your unit's under warranty. So this article, he thinks, answers this question. He's going to go ahead and attach that article directly to the case. So now any other agents, or if anyone were to report on this case later on, we'll know that Tim identified this article as the resolution to the case. Not only that, he wants to go ahead and respond to Lauren, and he can do that just by simply inserting this article into an email, and this he can simply send to Lauren just by clicking the send button. All right, so as we see that this abundance of agent productivity tools helps agents in less clicks resolve cases. And speaking of improving agent productivity, there's another component called macros, which agents really love. And what this allows an agent to do is record a set of actions that they're constantly having to perform. It could be something simple as, setting the status to close, opening an email, sending a template, taking a few notes about the answer that they had. If they're doing that constantly, case after case, and it's kind of the same question over and over and over, we see that agents really like to build macros. And macros allow them to define a set of steps, like I said, updating the case status to close, opening the email publisher, attaching an article, and sending that email. Those steps can be recorded, and then the next time that a similar case comes up, they could simply open up this macro and just run it, and it performs all those steps all together. So this is really about reducing agent number of clicks and improving agent productivity. The other great thing about macros is they can be done in bulk. So right now we're looking at one specific case, but back when I was showing you those list views of multiple cases, it's easy for agents to be able to select multiple like cases and apply a macro in bulk on all of them in one click. So again, really reducing the number of clicks an agent has to do to resolve a case. So we can go ahead and run this macro just to show you how it easily will perform all of those actions in one step. So now that our agent Tim service has responded to Lauren, Lauren will see in her email, and in a minute we'll look in the community, those responses. So she can simply open her email and see, actually there were two emails. One is with that response with that article and the content, so Lauren knows now that her unit is under warranty, but also it thanking her for contacting them, and with a link to a customer experience survey that she could take that will link directly back to that case and that contact, so we know how satisfied she is as a customer. We can also see these same updates inside of the community. So the status has been updated to waiting on customer, and we see in the chatter feed that article that was proposed to her by Tim Service. So we saw how easy it was for Lauren to contact Cirrus Support Center on more than one channel. We saw email, and we also saw through the community. We also saw if Lauren used the community, how she could get answers to the questions that she has without having to contact potentially anyone at all, with self-service tools in the community and with Salesforce knowledge. We also saw from Tim Service's perspective how easy it was for him to use the set of tools that he had as available to him to respond accurately and intelligently to the customer's question. So now let's fast forward a bit. Lauren has processed her return. She's returned the broken turbine. Cirrus Energy has approved her return and shipped out a new, brand new turbine for her to receive. And now let's pretend that Lauren is really anxious about getting this turbine and wants an update on its shipping status. So what she could do is right on her mobile device, let's say she's out and about, she can either go on the Cirrus Energy mobile app if she has it, or she can go to the community right from her mobile app. And now she wants to contact the support center on a different channel. She doesn't want to submit a case through an email. She doesn't want to, submit a case through the community. She wants to engage in a live chat just to ask her real quick question to the service center. So she sees a little button at the bottom of the screen that says chat with an expert, and she can go ahead and click that. And what this will load is a little form for her to quickly identify what her question is regarding. It pre-fills her information because she's logged into the community, or she could be logged into the mobile app. But she just has a question about her order, about my order. So she could go ahead and start chatting. And what happens here is before she chats with an agent live, a service bot will try to assist her. And this bot named Sunny will greet Lauren by name and ask her what they can maybe help her with. So she's going to go ahead and just tap the subject that she thinks is related to her question, which is her order. So she wants to look up her existing order that she has, and she sees that she has two orders. She got a starter kit a while ago, but she got her replacement turbine. That's what the order. That's the order that she wants to look into and see the shipping status. So she can go ahead and select that, and the bot's going to inform her the latest status of this order, how much it was, what it's shipped, and it even provides that tracking number for her. So she could go ahead and click that tracking number and get its status right from FedEx. Now, if she had another question, she could go back to the main menu. She could look at another order. She could type a message for the bot to try to process natural language on. Natural language processing is something that's supported by the bot. Or she can even transfer directly to an agent to have a live conversation with an agent. So she can go ahead and do that. And now what we're going to see is this kind of the customer on the left and the agent on the right. And we see right from Omnichannel, yet again, we have another interaction that's opened here. And we see that there's a live chat going on in the community. So Tim Service, our awesome agent, is going to go ahead and accept this conversation. And now, remember, Tim Service is on the right, Lauren's on the left. And now we can see the agent 360-degree view is put in the context of this chat interaction that's going on back and forth. So now Lauren can type her question. Here is my question about the order. And Tim immediately sees that in his chat window. Tim also sees the conversation that the bot had with Lauren to kind of get yet again some more context into what Lauren might be asking. And Tim can simply respond, hi Lauren, glad to help you. Now the other great thing about this is Tim can, he could type out each of these messages, of course, but this is probably something, a lot of these responses are probably pretty common. So with quick text ability, Tim can simply pull up, some common things that are said to a customer, like researching the issue. Simply clicking that will paste that text into that window and provide that statement to Lauren. One of the other things to notice as Lauren is typing, something like, hi, here is. Notice before she even sends that text, Tim has visibility into what she's typing. This is an optional configuration called Whisper that allows Tim to see what Lauren's typing before she even sends it. This can give him a head start on resolving the issue. There's a few other capabilities that Tim has available to him. One is attaching a file or requesting Lauren to attach a file. He can, of course, transfer this chat to another agent if, for whatever reason, he can't really help her. In the age of the internet, what would chat be without blocking? He could block Lauren from contacting the service center from a chat perspective. Or he can even request assistance. So this is kind of raising the flag for perhaps a supervisor to come into the chat with them. And the supervisor can be chatting with Tim inside of this three-way chat going on, but Lauren wouldn't have visibility into whatever that manager is typing. So this is a great training tool for a manager to provide that agent assistance, but the customer not even knowing what's going on. From that perspective, they're still just chatting directly with Tim. So lots of different tools. Again, different contextual tabs can open. Here we have that case about question related to the order come up that we talked about before. It could also pop sub-tabs as part of this conversation, the whole contact record, or the transcript. Um, Speaking of transcripts, all of these transcripts can be saved or would be saved for review later on, and information could be redacted from the transcript or even just the chat in general if sensitive information, for example, was entered into the chat by the customer and we don't want to store that information. These can be applied by setting up regular expressions, things like credit card numbers, social security numbers. Those can be automatically redacted if the customer were to enter that into the chat window. Once the conversation is ended, the customer can go ahead and say they want to end the chat, which would terminate the conversation, and the customer has the option to even save the transcript of the chat. So for our last part of the demo, let's take a look at our manager, Mike Manager, and see some of the reporting and monitoring tools that he has available to him to see what's going on inside of the service center. One of the tools, which is more of a real-time monitoring tool, is called Omni Supervisor. And what this provides someone like Mike is visibility into what's going on right now. So we can see, we only have one agent here, but this would be a list of all of the agents that are currently logged in Omnichannel, what their current status is. It shows him things like how long they've been in this state, how long has it been since they've last accepted a case, what channels they're available on, what queues they're assigned to, and even their capacity to accept more work and what they're working on right now. So we could expand this and dive into these details and see the actual cases that Tim is working on right now. So it's easy for Mike to just click on one of these cases to see the exact same thing that Tim's looking at. The other things he sees are high-level statistics around speed of answer on each of these cases, handle time, all of the things that are important to a call center. The other thing is he can look into the timeline of events. So he can see on a timeline things like what times they were logged in, what statuses they were set to for the day, and then what cases they were working on and what the statuses of each of those cases were set to. So we could see those cases that we were working on. We see that live chat that we were working on. All of those things are arranged on this timeline for a manager to review. So agents is one way of looking at it. You can organize it by work to kind of see, the different queues, how many cases are assigned in each of those queues, the handle time by queues, the average speed of answer by queues. So all of that information is available to Mike in real time using Omni Supervisor. Now, in addition to the, what's happening right now, Mike has reports and dashboards available to him that kind of show more of a historical view into what's been going on in recent, weeks or months or, whatever the time window is they want to look at. So there's obviously some really important dashboards around service, kind of speak more to, what channels cases have been coming in on, and things like that. But another one that I think is pretty interesting is around the knowledge management. So those articles. And the reason that I think this is important is because it clearly surfaces, what are people looking for in the community? What are they searching for? What articles are really important and helping the customers? What are the most viewed articles? What are the highest rated authors of those articles? What are the least viewed articles? So we could start to understand, okay, these articles that we thought would be helpful are not. But also, I think what's really interesting is we could see what people are searching for and don't get any results from. So this really helps identify potential improvement for zero-touch resolution. So if we had an article that kind of was the manual for the ETL 500 product, perhaps it would save us some of the cases that were opened from people searching without finding answers to the questions they had. So someone like Mike could dive into these details and go ahead and even socialize this with the team. So he can go ahead and pull this up, attach it to a chatter post, put in a snapshot of that dashboard and say something like, "Hey, at customer service team, um, can we review these on our next team meeting so we can get some content created?" And he's going to go ahead and mention the team. Now all of those members of the team will be notified of his post and can comment on it, and even potentially start to figure out who might be writing these articles. So we see that Mike can, of course, view reports, dashboards, but he could also dive into the details very easily and take action as a result of one of the metrics that he sees. Okay, so let's recap. Why does this all matter? What did we just see? Well, we saw from our customer perspective, Lauren, she was empowered with the information she needed to help herself, that zero touch resolution we were talking about. We also saw when she did contact the service department, she was able to, on a variety of different channels, and get her issue addressed on the channel of her choice at the time of her choice. This we see actually leads to an average increase in customer satisfaction of 35% amongst all of our Service Cloud customers. We saw from the agent's perspective, our agent Tim Service, he had that 360-degree view of the customer with that amazing Lightning Service Console. He was able to intelligently manage that customer interaction with the relevant information provided to him. He was also able to multitask, handling multiple customers simultaneously, potentially. If he was in the chat channel, he could potentially handle multiple customers at once due to the efficiency of those tools. Again, reducing clicks and making the agents more productive. We see that actually an average of 28% is the increase when using Service Cloud and agent productivity. And then lastly, our manager, Mike. We saw how he was able to assist employees, train them using those monitoring tools. He was able to stay informed and collaborate in real time with from the dashboards and the trends and spikes that he saw, and able to share that information with the team to course correct. We actually see a 22% decrease in support costs when using Service Cloud. So Service Cloud is really about delivering a smarter, a faster, and a more personalized experience for your customers, leading to increase in customer satisfaction, increase in agent productivity, but also reduction in support costs. This is Salesforce Service Cloud, and thank you for watching.